For the information.
Yes. Anyone will move the adjournment? Yes, Senator St.Clair.
Yes. I wouldn't be long, Mr. President. Would be very short. Well, the first thing I want to, of course, use the opportunity to welcome my dear friend, Senator Joseph. Well, he serves on the GCNA board, of which way I work, so we interact on a regular basis. Of course, as he would realize, as he says, he's excited and he's learning. I think the house is a good place. You learn a lot. You get to contribute to the national development, and I know you have a lot of inside of you. Of course, as the president alluded, you would find little chit-chat. It's all in good spirit. And my dear friend, Senator Bola, we chat and he called me out, and the only thing he don't show me is notes during lunchtime, but at lunch we sit and we have lunch and chat together, you know, so it's that. But so I agree, sooner or later you will get into it. But I want to raise a few things for importance. One, I want to send some condolences to our farmer who died a few days ago from a tree that fell while he's cutting. And see, sometimes, Mr. President, in the whole agriculture sector, we do a lot of things in the farming and don't think about the safety. Even our fisher folks is something, those who dive and the bends, and there's some safety issues. Even cutting this tree, you may have a chainsaw, you may know how to cut. Sometimes you need to have someone with you. So it's not a disaster management thing, but I think we need to look at some work in terms of that area. Sometimes you go to a cutlass cut you alone. You know, so we have to, the whole issue of safety. I think we speak about health and safety in the workplace, but the farm and the sea and wherever we function in the agriculture sector is a very important area, because it's a very unfortunate and sad situation. In fact, only in Christmas again, we had a situation where a mongoose, 2:30 in the morning, bite a gentleman toe. He eventually died. I'm not too sure what's the situation around that, but 2 o'clock in the morning, you know, it's strange things happen. And so I've been speaking to farmers on this matter, and it's a concern. I'm not too sure what's the state of the rabies and the mongoose control program in Grenada right now, because there's a lot of mongoose. You know, only, you know, it's like about 2 weeks ago, one of my dogs, I let it loose to, you know, just run a little bit and eat a whole mongoose. So it's right home, you know, and I have a mongoose trap actually, which I use periodically. And in the dry season coming up now, it's an issue. I was speaking to the same Senator Noel, who is not there today, about that, and even some, especially on the western side. So this is a matter that we need to look at, controlling the mongoose. The issue of the poultry, I know that is another big issue, but more so I think there are some burning concerns, not about the feed, I don't want to discuss that, but in recent times what has happened with the poultry is that before we used to be having the benefit of the liat and so on moving, so the freight cost of bringing in the birds was easier. Now you have to charter a plane, and now the cost has increased. The cost of the chicks, you know, I've connected with our dear minister to see what interventions can we look at regarding that, because in addition to all the other costs, here is another cost. And then inside of that cost, we have the importation, which we have no problem with. The issue is how do we, in Grenada, become more competitive. But the least competitive we become, then it opens up that I don't want to say that political deficit, but that deficit have to be fed, whether through a lower pricing. So, of course, our part of the concern there is that despite what is reported, the issue of health and safety, the issue of notifiable diseases in the source country, so like the bird typhoid and of course the Newcastle, has been reported in those countries in the early 2008, 2011. And it's again, all this is like the COVID matter. We have to control the quality of the birds or the meat. We have to be visiting these countries and see what is going on and not endanger what we're trying to start. We have good investment in the two farms, the Excellence and the Family, trying to come together. So we need to look how we could protect that part also. So this is a serious concern from the poultry folks. The pre-larceny, I wouldn't talk about that now because I'll deal with that in a different level. The land, the issue of the land. I know a lot of farmers want to be one place to farm. Some of them have a small lot, are calling me and they are having real challenges finding lands. So I've been trying to connect. Some people are calling me and say, oh, I have land to lease. I'm not a real estate operator, but we need to get some more quick action going on there. And as I said before, I don't think we need to look at necessarily waiting on this government cutting up and crown land, trying to work with all sort of maths, when there might be persons who have lands to lease and so on. And if there is some way the ministry can facilitate that in the meantime, that process, because a lot of persons want land. A young lady called me and said, look, she went to the ministry to ask about lands, and they told her, go and see where you could find government lands and tell us. She said, where even know it to even start? Maybe some desolate place again, I don't know. So that, it just showed that we need to do some quick action there, because these persons are interested and we shouldn't kill the spirit. I know we'll get there, but I raising these are some of those temperatures that is outside there. I think
just offer a helpful suggestion. I know when you did your maiden speech and you outlined the things that you want to do, high amongst that maiden speech, and when you met with me and we sat and spoke, was the need for building a farmers' organization. One of the things you can do immediately in getting this organization off the ground is to set up some sort of land bank in which private people who have lands that they are prepared to lease can register with your farmers organization, and people who are seeking land can come to you. You don't have to wait until the Senate meets. I mean, you can write a letter to the Minister of Agriculture, put forward such a proposal, and it's a project you could get working on. You can get somebody to help you do a project proposal, and you could register some sort of organization to get those things going. Because if you're going to wait on the government with the plethora of things that government has got to do, and we're in a period now where public health has come at the top of the table, and we're living in very precarious times. We might walk out of here only tomorrow to be told that we may have to shut down. You know, we're living in very precarious times. So to rely purely just on the state facility, I believe it's a gamble not worthwhile taking. So I would suggest that you become a little bit more purposeful. It is good to raise it here, but then you have to go through the bureaucracy, but it's something you can get farmers to do yourself. There's no reason why you all couldn't put out an announcement that we have an interim body, farmers organization. I think you all need to get with it. If you wait, and these things, you know, Christianity was started by 12 people. You don't wait on a mass of people, just get with it and get it shut off the ground. That's what you want. And there's a lot of things you can do. So that's my suggestion to you, all right? because while it might be a priority for you in terms of the sector that you represent, it may not necessarily be the priority for the government in a narrow sense.